Mistakes in defense can hold you back because they can lead to conceding easy goals. In this video, I will explain how you can avoid the most common mistakes. Hi, my name is Khan, also known as Jedi Jester, and in my years as a FIFA player and coach, I see the same mistakes over and over again. I will explain what these mistakes are and how you can avoid them, helping you to reach your full potential. With the correct mindset and training, you will see the difference in short time, so let's jump into it. Running too much is one of the biggest problems while defending. It can help you in open spaces, however, running in tight positions while defending can open up unnecessary positions. If the opponent has the tendency to run wild through the wing, you can sprint to catch him. Running in the wider space is completely fine, but that's it. Once you catch the players, you need to let go of the sprint button and try to use the jockey mechanic, which is performed by holding onto the L2, LT button while moving to be able to mirror them easier. When you are in a running duel against the opponent on the wing, you should especially pay attention to the ball contacts of the opponent. Every single time the opponent touches the ball, it's a decision point whether he continues sprinting or he might cut inside. So when the opponent is about to touch the ball and you have the feeling that he might cut inside, you can let go of the sprint button for a brief moment. That way you're able to react to the opponent's behavior. Once the opponent touches the ball and pushes the ball forward, you are free to run, but when the next touch appears, you need to be careful. Because if you don't, the opponent can sharply turn away from that direction while you run away from him. If you can control yourself with the sprint button there as you get on the same level, then you will have the chance to make the same move as him and defend him easily. There is also the mechanic of fast jockey, which is a combination of both sprint and jockey. Hold on to both R2 and L2 or RT and LT at the same time and try to move your defender, which will allow you to move rapidly without losing the defensive stance. The defending seems completely different, as moving only with the sprint button in a tight situation will throw your players left and right, while the jockeying and fast jockeying will allow you to move towards sides rapidly in a controlled way. So let's say you got rid of the sprinting issue, but that is not the only movement problem you have with your defense. It is pretty nice to read the opponent and know what the attacker will do in his next build-up step, but what happens when he actually doesn't perform the step you had in your mind and you still go for it? The answer is simple. You over-anticipate, make a wrong defensive move, open up space for the opponent, and create a goal-scoring opportunity which has nothing to do with the creativity of your opponent. Over-anticipation is equal to gambling. It can help you defend or it will make you concede a goal. So if you don't want to concede a goal like this, you have to keep your neutral position and defend two positions at the same time. Let's take a look at a detailed position. Here, the opponent receives the ball inside the box. He can either go left or right, but you don't and can't know that. So instead of panicking, you need to calm down the need of getting the ball instantly. Stay patient, but be ready. You are going to stand right in front of him, not too far away, but also not too close, let's say 1 meter away. That is the spot where you will wait for his move first. Pay attention to his dribbling and touches on the ball to understand where he wants to make his next move. If he tries to go left or right, you will have time to catch him. If he tries to shoot, you block the shot anyway, and if he actually passes the ball back, that is another story because the current danger is gone and you need to focus on the next one. However, if you would have gone first before waiting for his move, it would probably look like this and you would have conceded the goal. Have you been doing these mistakes and haven't realized them until now? Well, for that I can show you a very promising opportunity to reach your full potential in FIFA 23. Here you can get individual analysis and feedback on your gameplay, set up a practice schedule with your desired coach, and improve step by step. But that's not all. We have prepared a very special winter bundle for you, where you will have 2 hours of session with your desired coach and 6 months of the Guide Plus membership, which creates the perfect combination of a personal training program only for you and continuous educational content. Make sure to check out the link in the description now and save up to 33% for a limited time. Maintaining the defensive shape is crucial for defending, but what do we actually mean by shape? For example, when you play a formation with 4 at the back, you want to have your 4 defenders in a line. As soon as you break this shape, you open up chances for your opponent to get dangerous. The easiest way to break your defensive shape is to bring your players out of their positions. Even one player is enough to do that. This is often done by 2 mistakes. The first one is to bring one player too much forward. If you move one player out of his position, for example too much forward, he will leave a gap behind. That will allow the opponent to penetrate the open space, which can be quite dangerous. The second mistake is done with the central players. Either in midfield or in defense, you have mostly 2 players. One is set to cover the right and the other the left. If you take the player who is defending the left side and try to defend the right side with him, then you will leave his space empty, and if the opponent can get the ball there, it will be easy for him to move forward, gain ground, and get closer to your goal. In both cases, the player switching is the key. Don't move your players out of their positions, but try to find an optimal teammate to switch to. That way you can defend the position without giving away space in the back. Do not take your central midfielder or defender on the left side towards the right side, but switch to his teammate who is designated to defend the right side so that you won't give away any easy opportunity. This will allow you to keep your defensive shape and force your opponent to do something extra, and this could mostly end up with their mistake. Talking about moving defenders out of their position brings us to the wrong usage of the second man pressure because it has the same wrong intention. With the R1, RB button, you can activate an AI controlled defender to come closer to the current ball dribbler as an extra defensive force. However, this tool has to be used very carefully as it can result in the same problem as before, a defender getting pulled out of his position, which creates an unnecessary space for the opponent. So in this case, holding on to the second man pressure consistently without knowing your exact purpose is totally wrong. There are 2 ways you can properly use a second man pressure. You can create a defensive situation where the attacker is stuck towards the sideline, and you can use the second man pressure to cover up one side of the player. In the meanwhile, you can try to defend the other side manually, which will block all of the opportunities of the opponent. The second man pressure also comes handy whenever you are trying to cover multiple positions. Let's say you see an obvious passing opportunity and you try to defend it manually. However, if you do so, the current ball dribbler is going to be free without getting defended. So you can activate the second man pressure to get your closest defender towards him, who will try to close off the passing angles while you're trying to defend the potential receiver manually. If the opposition is too focused on the receiver, he can easily lose the ball, or you can also switch to the defender, which was pushed up by the second man pressure, and then defend with him once the other threat is over. Player switching allows you to change between players and defend with a proper player in a certain situation. You need to observe what the attacker is doing and go for the right player switch. For example, if the attacker is making one of his players run in behind the defensive line and has the tendency to go for a lob through ball, do not hesitate and switch to your defender just to make him also run back and catch the ball before the runner gets it. Or if you see an obvious pass, make sure to get closest defender with a player switch and try to get closer to the receiver without breaking our second rule about the overanticipation. Players often suffer from wrong player switches because either they panic or they completely lose control while switching. There are 2 useful methods. One of them is the L1 or LB switch, which will get you to the player marked with an icon above his head, and the other is the right stick switching, which is a more advanced technique performed with your right analog stick. To find out more about them, make sure to click the info box on the top right corner or check the link in the description. None of them is right or wrong, both are very situational, and finding the perfect balance between them is very important. For example, your selected player is too far away and the opponent gets towards your box very rapidly. Committing to the more advanced right analog stick switching could take 3 or 4 steps, which will give the opponent a lot of time before you can get to the intended defender. However, if you decide to go for a L1, LB switch here, then you will switch to the player in the proximity of the ball and you will find it a lot easier to get to your desired player. Therefore, find the balance. Panicking also makes you switch unnecessarily between players, especially in the box. Open your eyes, be confident, switch to your desired player in a tough position and hold on to him without switching to another player. If you panic and switch again, then there's a great chance you will lose control and won't defend properly. So that's it for today's video. We really hope you enjoyed and learned a lot from this tutorial and correct your defensive mistakes instantly. Be patient and keep training. If you like this video, make sure to also check out our top 5 mistakes in build-up as well, which is linked on the screen right now to be able to get better on the offensive side of the game. Hope to see you guys in our next video. Until next one, take care and peace.